Rolling. Rolling. Hello, everyone. It's the Catch the Sky podcast. This is your new and improved British host, Saifo, all the way live from Arizona. We're going to talk all things Super League today. We're going to talk about Super League. What is it exactly? The super villains involved in the Super League, and who will save us from this effort to Americanize European football. As always, I'm joined with Sweet T. And we're on social media.
You may find us on Facebook or Instagram by searching for the Catch the Sky podcast. Twitter at CTS Terry or CTS Saif. Super League, the fuck is that?
For our new listeners, this isn't always how we talk, but this is my best effort at an accent. So I don't always sound like this, but I thought for this episode, I should go British because we're talking European soccer, European football. For you Americans, it would be like, Super League would be like if Pele and Ronaldo got together and with David Beckham and tried to have a new baby. So I don't know if that makes sense.
I think for the American chaps, be more like their Yankees and their Dodgers and their Cubs. Just abandoning the rest of the league. And expecting all the fans to just go and follow them. The fucking Red Sox.
And you know, the Red Sox are actually part of this. Their owner is John Henry, not the steel driving man, but the owner of Fenway Sports, who's also in cahoots with LeBron James. And they have tried to start their own league, their own, picture it like a regional 30 teams of soccer in Europe only. They got 12, but they wanted to expand it and add more teams. But they would try to do the same like we were baseball, football here in America. How long do you think we can keep these accents up?
I'm pretty damn impressed that we went that far.
It was a solid 2:30. T, it's good to be back with you, bro. Do you think we explained Super League to the people? Do you think they get it? Do you think Americans get it? Do you think they care? Why should Americans care?
Well, I think if they understood our accents, they get it.
I mean, it is a foreign language to them. We don't like anything we don't like anything European. We don't like their vaccines, AstraZeneca specifically. We like the Nazism. We took the Nazi stuff. We're like, yeah, let's use that. we're gonna hold on to this as long as we fucking can.
Christ on a cracker. Let's stick to Super League.
Let's do it. So it was 3 countries were largely responsible: the English, the Spanish, and the Italians. And a few culprits include Florentino Perez, who's the president of Real Madrid, and then the Juventus president, who is Andres Agnelli, and they were kind of the front people for this. So the Italian guy and the gentleman from Spain there. So Juve's actually T's favorite team. He rocks a Juve jersey. That should be known. Full disclosure, so you know where the bias is.
Yeah, well, what's left of it? Jesus Christ. Hey, Man City was in this, weren't they?
They were, but as we're going to get to later on, you're going to see that they actually single-handedly saved the league thanks to their coach, Pep Guardiola. And I might add that Manchester City, we are recording this on April 28th, 5 p.m. Arizona time, and Man City have taken it to Paris Saint-Germain 2-1 in Paris and are on their way to advancing to Istanbul for the UEFA Cup Championship. I could not be prouder. I'm a proud Man City supporter, full disclosure. So for all you scoozers, you yids, get fucked.
So your team was just as much a part of this as the one that I root for loosely.
Yeah, but they were the first to pull out.
Gotcha.
I've been good at pulling out my whole life.
So they can save face because their pullout game's good. Got it. Everybody forgets that they were part of the problem.
They were some of the last to be invited. It was a settlement of core team. Well, I'll tell you about who the villains are in this. And so you have Manchester United. They are owned by the Glazer family, Malcolm Glazer, and Malcolm Glazer owns the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh.
He's also a real estate mogul, which I thought was interesting because I know you want to get into real estate. First Allied Corporation.
Yeah, is he related to Jay Glazer?
That requires internet research. But yes, let's go ahead and associate those two anyway. Anybody named Glazer, for that matter, you're part of this.
Looking at you, Jay.
Liverpool is aforementioned John Henry, the steel driving man, who grew up in the Midwest, Missouri. Stan Musial fan, became a Cardinals fan, and through his work over time, helped develop Moneyball. So he gave Bill James an opportunity, and Bill James is the algorithm master that gave us Moneyball, which is a great film with Brad Pitt. Not sure if that was one of our top 5 sports movies. Did we exclude that movie? I don't remember.
It might have made it into somebody's. Thought that was Billy Bean.
Billy Bean was the general manager for the Oakland Athletics, yeah. But Bill James was behind the analytics that in Boston, because they incorporated it in Boston for the purposes. John Henry's goal was to win Boston pennants and was successful. And he also owns Liverpool. He's part of that, the Fenway Group, and that's LeBron James. We also have Arsenal. What up, Scott? That's Kroenke Sports. Cranky, Kroenke. And the Kroenke family, Stan the man, Mr. I don't like the spotlight. He owns the Los Angeles Rams, stole them from St. Louis, the Denver Nuggets, the Colorado Avalanche, a host of other teams that people don't care much about. One of them's an MLS team. I think it's the Rapids. He met Ann Walton in Aspen, Colorado, skiing. And she turned out to be an heiress to the Walton fortune, so the Walmart family. And I'm not sure if I'm even supposed to hate Walmart anymore. I think my ire is now more at Amazon, but I do love that same day delivery. It really is fascinating. But some gossip here is there is one of the co-founders of Spotify, or those involved at Daniel Elk, is looking at purchasing the Arsenal Soccer Club. So that might happen. So those are some of the main culprits and supervillains behind this. All Americans, all attempting to take what Europe has built with their system and just gut it. And just try to take the 30 best teams. But this is something that's been going on in sports as a whole, because you have situations where the rich teams tend to dominate because they can spend the most money. And in Europe, at least, every now and then the little guy, David, beats Goliath. And I think that's what's special about it. We don't really have anything like that unless like Appalachian State beats Michigan. That's comparable collegiately.
Yeah, the relegation component of soccer has always been really fascinating to me. And that's why I was really interested to see the XFL and the AAF succeed, because then we'd have more pro football teams to grab people's attention and maybe someday work towards something similar. So imagine the bottom feeders of the NFL, such as the Browns, when they went 1-31 over the course of fucking 2 seasons. Yeah, no, you're going down to the XFL, bitches. If you want to play with the big boys again, you got to earn your way back up.
Right.
And knowing the Browns, they probably would have gone all the way to the bottom there, too.
See,
by the end of the decade, they'd be an arena team.
Yeah, add the Arena League in this, too.
Like, yeah,
maybe one from
go.
each.
Let's go.
I'd like to see Hunky Cooper and Shedrick Bonner in the NFL. But it would be because
They have
there's
to
no
earn
incentive.
their way there, though.
Because if you lose in the NFL, you still, with revenue sharing, you still get a check from all the television rights. Like you still earn your $250 million outright, which I believe is what the amount they get from television alone, regardless of how they perform.
There's a lot of money flying around out there.
And so the teams are allowed to just be bad. Like they can be bad. Sometimes they'll play poorly on purpose just to draft Zion Williamson.
That's not a thing.
You don't think teams suck?
The process is just a conspiracy. Trust
That'd
the
be
process.
A good topic for a future, yeah. Yeah, but just a rebuilding year. Always the rebuilding.
Right, yeah. That's what they're calling it now.
I could see Major League Baseball. Everything's tied to their farm leagues, and they're all connected to a team, one or the other. And if they were allowed to compete outside of that and actually build their own thing, and just I think it would be interesting if we could somehow create a relegation system so that just teams who played poorly had consequences.
It would give people so much more pride in their regional teams. People wouldn't just be following individual players all over the place anymore. I mean, that would still happen to a degree, obviously. But I think if your team had a chance to move up a league, you're going to be going to a lot more games. You're going to be a lot more invested.
Right. There's more to play. Those games at the end of the season, they're like, oh, this team's not going to show up. You know, you have to show up for every game. You can't just mail it in.
Mm-hmm. Precisely.
Now, to be fair, I will agree that Manchester City was initially part of this problem, but they were the first to drop out, and their head coach, Pep Guardiola, did speak out and say, you know, this isn't competition. This isn't real competition if you take away all the other competitors. And that they became the first team, and then Chelsea was the second team. And I thought this was interesting. Chelsea's owned by like a Russian oligarch, by the way.
I was going to ask you if Chelsea was involved because here's a fun fact. They might be owned by a Russian oligarch, but do you want to know who one of their minority owners is?
Please.
Mark Hoppus, the bassist from Blink-182. And there's my soccer fun fact for the day.
Boom. Take that, America. So they pulled out, and I think largely because they're currently in UEFA Cup competition. So Chelsea's, I mean, by the time this episode is dated on April 28th, but it's possible things will have changed in the next week. And so for those of you who are listening to this, you know, things may have changed. But I think the threat of them being kicked out of the UEFA Cup also played into them moving forward. So this may not be dead just yet. Maybe the season has to end. But largely, the Super League really is a response not only to Americanize the game and profit by greedy bastards, but also to kind of stick it to UEFA and to stick it to FIFA, which are some of the most corrupt organizations on the planet. That's a separate podcast, by the way.
There's so much drama in soccer. It's unreal. You could create so many soaps about the drama that's involved in soccer. Oh my goodness. Just replace Days of Our Lives with just whatever's going on in FIFA.
Like sands through the hourglass. These are the days of our lives.
Yeah.
No, there's the criticism lobbied again is they're more willing to punish teams for kind of rebelling versus focusing on teams who commit acts of racism or who have fans who commit acts of racism because they're trying to expel this from the game. You'll see the players now kind of taking a knee in support of civil rights. But in Europe, like there's depending on where you go, like it's still very much embedded within the culture. And so they're trying to clean that out because it's a nasty part of the game that still exists not only in Europe, but it also exists here. Like the concept of burning your Nikes or people being upset over taking a knee, like there still is a racialized component to it all.
Correct.
But for now, the Super League appears dead. I think part of the resistance, of course, I'm going to give Man City all the credit in the world, but other streaming platforms who own the rights. So Peacock owns the Premier League rights, and Paramount, CBS owns the UEFA Champions League, and ESPN Plus has a lot of the FA Cup, like English Cups, and so forth. So certain streaming providers have a financial say in this, and they're like, wait a second, no, I just signed on for a contract here. You can't create another league that I don't have access to. So I imagine there would be a lot of litigation.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's just funny because this made me think, as soon as you brought up the streaming services, South Park did an episode related to all the different streaming services and how it seems like if you don't have one that's streaming whatever you want, you know, you have to go buy a different one. It's just turning into fucking cable all over again.
Individual, yeah.
And in addition to that, Trey Parker and Matt Stone hit on just the greed and corruptness in sports in BASEketball. It's kind of the theme of the movie.
Reggie Jackson, right?
The motif is there.
I'm kind of indifferent about free agency, and I do want to say that Tom Chambers, as an NBA player, was one of the first free agents in the NBA, and he came to the Phoenix Suns as a result and improved our team greatly. He also had some DUIs that we forgave pretty quick, and Tom Chambers is a lot of fun to drink with. I will share that. Now, with that said, I think South Park, would they be doing a Super League episode soon? Do we know?
There's only time will tell. Their seasons typically come out in the fall, so I'm not sure if Super League will be relevant enough. Typically,
I've given this some.
Yeah.
No, I'm giving this thought, and I want to admit I'm wrong. And this is some feedback from listeners as well, kind of, because you and I make jokes for the purposes of creating conversation.
Yeah.
And that's what Trey Parker and Matt Stewart do. And maybe I don't necessarily agree with the animation component, but I have to appreciate and respect what they're doing. So I think I'm wrong on South Park, and I think I am renouncing my South Park hate once and for all, and I will keep a more open mind, open eye. You want to recommend some episodes to me? I will watch them. We can discuss them on this show. No problem at all.
I said the ones involving Man Bear Pig are always good. There's 2 of those. But I do not recall the episode title right off the top of my head. But I am proud to see that we are experiencing some growth here on the Catch the Sky podcast.
Yeah, I think for me, this is an opportunity for admit I'm wrong. And I don't think people are ever willing to say, that I'm wrong. And I will flat out say it. I'm growing, T. Emotionally, mentally.
Physically, like erections.
Speaking of erections, I was at a wedding party a few weeks ago, and they had this young lady who was showing off sex toys to the audience. I was the only guy that participated in this, by the way. All the men were outside thinking it was weird, and I was in there taking notes, learning where the G spot was. And it was like there was a network marketing component. So if anybody bought anything, then the bride would get some kickbacks and the host of the house would get some kickbacks. So I threw in some money, convenience fee, kind of taking that from you.
Wait,
and this is
what did you buy?
Oh, I ended up it was like a lucky grab bag, and there was a really nice dildo in it. So I have like a very nice, like state of the art. It only works when you're touching it. So as soon as you relinquish it, it stops. So it's
interesting.
I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I haven't opened it yet. It just kind of sits. My neighbor had their birthday party. Kids turning 4. I didn't think that was an appropriate gift. So I got to find. I mean, I have
raffle it off.
So much shit in my house. I feel like
we could
I'm
raffle
just
it
notorious
off
for this
on the page.
Could we do that and raise some money for our show? Like we could.
Yeah.
Like, hey, everybody, if you like and share, you can win this dildo.
Right. And then we could just start
something.
Yeah. Yeah. We could do a contest of sorts to try and raise money, or we could just do a like and share kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I'm just thinking of all the shit that I could get rid of in my house.
You have dildos or what? What do you have? How many dildos do you got? I am looking around. I have a lot of shit in my house too. I want to off a couple of these VCRs. Actually, I might want to hang on to those.
Yeah, we've been talking about these VCRs for a while now. At this point, their value's probably gone up.
It's better than Bitcoin.
Jesus Christ. No, it's rebounding again. Bitcoin's on the rise.
I don't trust Elon Musk. I don't trust the rich. I don't trust the Super League rich guys. I don't trust rich people in general. I'm just adverse. But I've made a lot of people rich because I buy a lot of shit. And yeah, what if we did, if you like and share our post, we'll just send you a random piece of crap from our house.
We can autograph it if you want.
I'd have to go out and buy a Sharpie, but I'm trying not to consume here. I'm trying to minimize my expenses here.
At some point when the Sharpie is all used up, you can go ahead and raffle that off too.
Okay. I want to note that this is the second time we're recording this episode because the first time I just forgot to turn my microphone on.
Nice work, sir.
Thank you for being patient with me, T.
As always.
I'm growing. I'm learning how to be more patient.
Well, you have to be with me. I'm a loose fucking cannon.
Do you think we've slammed the rich enough on this episode? I did want to pick on Jim Rome at some point, and then we can go wherever we want with this. But Jim Rome has really helped to contribute to the demonization of soccer in American culture. And there were actually active public relations campaigns when Pele played for the New York Cosmos in the indoor leagues in the late 70s, early 80s. And American baseball owners contrived to, again, damage the reputation and we have America's games and then there's Europe's games. And I think that mindset still contributes today to people just dismissing the French, dismissing foreign ideas or foreigners as a whole. There's a very much a American-centric attitude that I think we could learn some things from Europe. I think Europe has some great ideas. And they gave us democracy, for fuck's sake. And the menage a trois.
Do like me some all-you-can-eat pussy.
Wow. Jesus Christy. We can't keep it clean, and I know I started with the F-bombs early.
Bro. Yeah. I'm a filthy human being. What can I say? I mean, I'm clean, but my mind's not. My mind is a dirty, dark place.
Well, I appreciate everyone joining us today to talk about Super League, what it is, and who the villains are, and what we need to do to save it. And ultimately, it's standing up for the little guy out there. Joe Sixpack. Rudy.
That's right.
Joe Esposito.
So if you have feedback on this or any previous episodes or any ideas for future episodes, please interact with us on Facebook or Instagram by searching for the Catch the Sky podcast, or find us on Twitter at CTS Terry or at CTS Saif. Until Tuesday, keep trying to catch the sky.